Shalom, Ashbaka. I would like to get into a topic. There are some things going on with the names that are in scriptures. For instance, Peter's name. I made a video about Peter being a pope in my Pope Basic Knowledge video that I made a couple of days ago. And somebody wanted to point out that I did not know Hebrew names. It went on to be said that it was called Kepha, as that is the name of Peter. Let's get into some understanding about that. Yes, Peter is called Kephas and has been English transliterated into Kepha with a K. However, that is not a Hebrew word, that is an Aramaic word for rock. I'm in Matet Yahu, chapter 16, verse 17 and 18. Let's go into 17's interlinear. Now here is the word that is written for Simon.
Strong's G 4613, Simone. Simone.
So if that is his Greek name, why are they calling him Kepha, which means rock in Aramaic? Why would you use Aramaic or the Greek name for Peter? Let's find out what the Hebrew name for Peter really is. Again, Mashpaka, verse 18, I tell you that you are rock, and upon this rock I will build my assembly. Here is Peter's real name that is called by Yahushua.
Strong's G 4074, Petros. Petros.
Now let's do an Old Testament search for rock. Again, there are 266 verses that use the word rock. Let's just go into one of them. This one looks good. I'm going into that verse. Here we go, Mashpaka. A rock. Here is the root word for rock. Now this particular word has this vowel point on it, and it is attributed to this Strong's concordance number. Again, it means rock. It's used 64 times.
Strong's H 6697, Tsur. Tsur.
Now this pronouncing of this name is kind of wrong, and I want to get into the actual pronouncing of Peter's Hebrew name. Here is another Hebrew word that means rock. It is used 59 times in 53 verses. Right here. Rock. Here, if we go to the Brown Drivers Briggs lexicon, which is a pretty good lexicon, we can see Tzura as a synonym for it being also rock. But if we go into the Jessenius right here, let's pull this up. A metaphor as is called as anyone's rock. His refuge, where he is safe from foes. Petra, the chief city of Edomites. Kind of looks like Peter. Again, we're back in Matet Yahu. And it is saying, I tell you that you are rock, and on this rock I will build my assembly. Basically calling him a refuge, a place. Now, Mashpaka, just like I've taught yesterday that we should be using the Codex Sinaiticus, Codex Vaticanus, Codex Alexandrinus, because they are the oldest Greek texts of being the New Testament. Here I am in Matet Yahu, chapter 16, verse 17 and 18. Here are the words that I copied. Notice how they use completely different words for these texts, being the Sinaiticus is different from the Textus Receptus. Now I have copied and pasted that verse into a translator, and this is what it reads. The man answered and said to him, Blessed are you, O my Alua, that you have not revealed your blood, but my Father who is in you. I will build you a stone, and on this stone I will build my church. Notice how it doesn't say Peter's name here in this translation. This is why you have to be careful. You need to study the Greek text. Let's scroll up. Right here is Peter's name. We can compare. This is how hard it is, Mashpaka. This is how hard it is. We can compare right here that this is the very same name that is used. At this Mashpaka, we are lucky that we even have a translator, but we need to test. Here it is. Simon. Petra. So Mashpaka, as of right now, the names of Peter, I believe it to be SaLA. SaLA. And it can also be another form of rock, which is Tazur or Tazura. But as of right now, I believe it is SaLA. Being that this word is used as a refuge and a rock, I believe that it would fit Peter's Hebrew name. That is all, Mashpaka. I palal that Yahweh is forever in your hearts and speaks with your every move. Ahaba'u Shalom.